Now we're all relaxed, chilled. It's Wednesday. It's time for us, pair of pellets, to come back and try to.
It's a bit strong, wasn't it? And very difficult to say.
Try to keep you awake after 9 o'clock. Difficult enough keeping him awake. But we'll have some fun as we normally do.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So what are we talking about this week then? Any ideas?
I think it's disc golf.
Disc golf.
Yeah, disc golf.
Is that what the injury you get afterwards? Or?
No, although you can get an injury playing disc golf. It's a new. Well, it's not new, is it? It's something I've never known before, never been introduced to, and it involves basically a frisbee or frisbees in the plural, which and a kind of course which is akin to like a golf course. You know, undulates. It's got kind of like. Well, there was no water there, but trees.
There would be during winter.
There would be in the winter. But we visited a purposely designed course to basically throw a frisbee around, and you throw it at this contraption which accepts it like it's not a hole, but you can equate it nearly to golf, can't you? The way that you go from hole to hole, tee to tee.
The basic course setup is like golf. It's just the equipment is different.
Yeah.
So that's the difference, really.
Well, there's no real equipment other than the length of your arm.
I suppose so.
I suppose there's no like 7-iron or anything like that, or sand wedge.
No wedges now.
No. But wherever the disc lands, the frisbee lands, then you take your next shot and your next shot. But there's a lot of skill in it, isn't there? There's also a lot of there's a fair amount of physicality involved too.
Well, yeah, especially when you're lugging camera equipment around.
Yeah, and trying to stay on your feet on very unsteady ground.
Avoid being ravaged by the animals.
Yeah.
But let's share this experience with one.
Why not? Because nobody knows what we're talking about, do they?
Our resident guest, Mr. Eric Jack.
Yeah, Eric the Red.
Eric the Red from the glorious
capital. Guys, good to be with you tonight.
From Moscow, comrade.
From Moscow. It's Eric's Red. Yes. It's very good.
The streets of a comrade.
So I bet you really like a hat in this sort of weather, wouldn't you?
Yeah, the hat would be very good.
The hat's good.
Where's the hat?
It helps keep the sun off of my head.
It's a long story, but we won't get into that right. Yeah. So, Eric, have you ever heard of disc golf? I mean, it's obviously played a lot in America. I never heard of it, but obviously you might have come across it before.
Actually, I have heard of it. I've never played it. I've actually seen it played on TV. ESPN, which is one of the major sports cable networks in the States, does cover that sport on occasion. I guess during the championship matches or whatever you want to call them. That's the only time that I've ever seen it. Never seen it live in person.
I thought, well, disc golf? What's that then? The first time I saw it was at one of the local festas. I think some of the young kids have been asked to go and play it. I thought, okay, we'll have a look at that. But strange enough, we got an invite to come and see how it's actually done by one of our guests, our friends.
Resident Americans.
Texans.
God bless them.
God bless America.
Yeah.
Who got a friend over who is professional? Would you say?
He's a professional. Is he in the world rankings?
Jamie.
Really nice guy.
And that was
very informative.
Yeah. So learnt a lot. It was another very hot day. But shall we see the video? Shall we get a taste of what it's all about?
I think it's a good idea because it visually shows people instead of trying to talk your way through it, what it's all about. And then perhaps we could sort of talk about donkeys and goats and stuff like that.
I suppose you could.
And the fauna that is available.
You did what?
The fauna.
Okay.
Which is available.
Right, okay. Let's see if we can bring it up and see what happens.
It's good, this is.
Well, I don't know about that, but why am I not seeing it?
Nice music.
Yeah, nice music.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, I don't know what's that there then, because that's going to remove it.
Okay. Well, while
let me have a try. Let me have a try this. There we go.
There
we go. There we go. Sorry about that.
Val de Encanto.
What does that mean?
I've forgotten. It's
you're no good, are you?
Vale of...
Isn't something Enchanted Vale?
Enchanted, yeah.
Okay.
Enchanted
the Enchanted Vale
right.
Disc Golf Course. Take two.
So we're here today to play some disc golf. I've never played it before. It's an amazing sport. I've just really had a couple of hours at looking at it, and it's a wonderful walk in the whole atmosphere of Portugal. I've got a couple of guys here who are going to introduce themselves to you. So you, sir, your name?
My name's Jamie Callis. I'm here visiting from Texas, visiting some friends that live here, and I've actually been playing disc golf since 1999.
My name is Christian Stenevinge. I'm from Sweden. I lived here since 10 years, and I'm the course designer and co-owner of the course.
And what's the experience been like so far?
Oh, it's been beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful here. And I mean, realistically, long term, I'm thinking about coming this way myself.
Really?
So,
What brought you to Portugal?
Well, I just wanted to move from Sweden, get from the climate there. We went to Spain, but Spanish is a little bit of not so friendly as Portuguese people. We just ended up in Portugal, and I bought a house here, renovated it, lived here since 10 years back.
10 years.
Yeah.
So in all of that time, have you ever wished to return to Sweden and
Never.
So what kind of challenges have you faced here?
Every possible challenge you can think of, you can say. In the beginning, when we moved here to this area here we are now, they didn't speak English.
Yeah.
There was so few Englishmen here, so that was a problem with the social security and the, you know, all the things you have to go around with here. But now it's better. Now it's a lot of immigrants and
manageable.
So Is
that
works.
because you've accumulated some of the language and more people are speaking English?
More people speaking English, of course, and then I speak a little bit Portuguese after 10 years, obviously. But I've been here. As you say, I'm living with the people, so I'm Portuguese.
Now there you go, eh? There you go. If anybody fancy that, fancy a bit of that.
They look good.
Well, to be honest, when we although we didn't actually get to play it, I was just exhausted, kind of going around the course. So it was this damn good exercise if you're feeling like you want to do it. I'm just looking at some of the comments here. Michael, obviously you've played this before. I'm just going to go to that to show that, right? If you want to come and tell us a bit about it, you're welcome on screen to join us.
Your experiences.
Yeah, if you can, it's there on the screen now, but it's also in the comments as well. So if you're a man of experience, we'd like to hear from you, because I can't really tell anybody. Because yes, we do. That means yes, we have played. I'm not sure that means no pure Eric. What is pure Eric?
Yeah.
There's the question of the universe. What is pure Eric? This is like dark matter.
I'd love to know.
Red matter.
Matter exists in several forms: grey matter, dark matter, and don't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's the matter?
What's the matter? It's a fun game. Pick up a frisbee and go. See, there you go.
Yeah. That describes it, really.
It is really.
Yeah.
But in reality, you have a bag of drivers, chippers, and putters, all different shapes.
Ah,
We did.
okay.
Don't you remember his bag?
Drivers, chippers, and putters.
Yeah,
eh?
there were all different types of frisbees, I would have called them. But
So they weren't using the same frisbee the
no,
entire
no,
time.
no.
Oh, I see.
No, you're
Ah.
watching with a different disc, so it's obviously different. I mean, you saw how far he threw that one.
That I was trying to calculate how far, and I reckon it's got to be up to about 270 meters.
Yeah, easily.
I mean,
That's-
somewhere around there. That's what my rough estimation. I don't know whether it's possible to get to 300 meters, but that was one hell of a throw.
It was. Well,
It
they both did it. So
You know, it was an Olympian, really.
Looks like a great way to throw your shoulder out, though.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I was thinking.
yes,
And I think it probably does favour people with longer arms that can get the leverage. Yeah, I think. You know,
talk about the man. Here he is. He's hiding behind a glass of
yes. And I think he's trying to waft
wine. He's just trying
the
to make.
aroma.
He's just
of
trying to
the
make us
wine.
jealous. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Well, yeah, he doesn't need to because you know, I just want to show him that
That's
international brain fog.
international brain fog.
Yeah.
Kills brain cells at a vastly increased rate.
I haven't got any left to kill.
So, welcome, Michael. How are you, sir?
Bem-vindo.
Actually, we're just finally getting settled in after we've been back about, I think this is about 6th night.
Yeah, and so just over the
Yeah.
jet lag.
Just getting over jet lag, although I did pass out 10 minutes earlier reading. So anyway,
Is that an age thing, Michael?
I do it all the time. So,
Passing out?
Yeah,
what's that? Yeah, no, it is a senior thing, yes, but of course,
it's,
you
also a disc golf movement.
it's a disc golf movement. Yes.
The passing out.
so you've had experience of playing this game, Michael, and
Yeah,
sounds like you enjoyed it.
Well, I have. Kath hasn't, but
Yes, I have, but not with you.
yeah, we were in Mexico when we were cruising. No, it was after we were cruising in Mexico. We went to visit some friends, and we were staying with them in just north of
San Carlos.
San Carlos, yeah. And he said, "Oh, I'm busy in the morning." Yeah, so what are you doing? He said, "Oh, I'm going golfing." I said, "Oh, you're going golfing?" I said, "Oh, that's great." He said, "Well, disc golfing." And I said, "Really?" So he said, "Well, why don't you come and see what it's like?" And I like golf. I mean, I played years and years ago, and I don't like it. It interferes with sailing. And but anyway, we went for a short car ride, and a couple of there's probably about 3 or 4 guys had set up. They set up a disc golf course in the desert. Not quite desert, but it's rambling hills and pretty Spartan growth. And that's why I said when I was watching that guy with that long drive, that was a really, really long shot for what I've seen. I mean, that's, you know, normally the guys are going about 100 yards max or 100 meters, and that was a really long one, it looked like each shot. But it was a lot of fun. They only had 9 stations set up, but you could play them in any direction. So every day they decide which way they were going to go. And of course, I didn't have a clue the first time around. But it's addictive. You start playing it, and it's not like golf where you've got to invest a fortune for the clubs. You've basically got a half a dozen, get away with about a half a dozen different sized frisbees. And you're in the game, and it's a lot of fun. Discs. Well,
I think that's an important point, is the cost factor. It looks minimal, really. I mean, like you say, you got all these different sort of style discs, which, you know, roughly equate to like, a 7-iron or a sand wedge or a driver or something like that. But really, you're not talking about big bucks here.
Well, it's true. It's true.
A lot of money to play it, but to set it up the way, I'm sorry, I missed it in the beginning.
Christian, his name is.
Yeah, he's done it properly. He's really got proper holes or a stand with chains basket underneath. The chains are there to stop the disc and drop it into the basket. But the guys I played with in Mexico, what they've done, they just basically driven stakes in the ground, put a bunch of rocks around it in about a 1 meter circle. And of course, if you hit it, there was a hole in one if you hit the post. But the goal was really to get in that circle. And that was still counted, but it wasn't counted as a hole in one. So, you know, you can set it up very inexpensively. We've got great countryside around here for doing that kind of thing. So,
Well, this guy's literally 5 minutes up the road from where I am.
Yeah.
He's that close.
Really?
Didn't even know he was there.
No,
he
amazing.
opened it what, this year, 2025.
And it's a good course.
His aim is to make the best course in Portugal.
It was aimed to get in the basket.
He probably already has it right now because that's really well set up the way he's got it done. And I didn't even know it was around him.
We've got to do take two on his aim. Sorry. His aim is what?
To get it in the basket. His aim is to make the best course, I presume it's called course, in Portugal. And like you say, I think he's pretty much the way there. Now, he was going to be on with us tonight, but he's doing a tournament in one of the European Masters in Germany.
Wow.
He's competing, and although he's Swedish, he's playing for Portugal. So good lad.
Good lad.
So next week he'll come and tell us. He'll come and tell us how that
Hopefully,
went, and a little bit more about what we've seen there. And he's a nice guy. I knew I was going to get on with him because the first thing he did when I saw him was put a bottle of beer in my hand. So he's my type of guy, really. And a real friendly guy, and just a nice place to go, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good, relaxing place to go.
Difficult terrain to walk on, I found, but I don't think I've got the appropriate footwear.
No,
being a sin.
It's your stilettos. That's what let you down.
It's funny, most of them, several of them. In fact, the marina we used to keep our boat at in
Washington.
Anacortes in Washington, the Rotary Club of Anacortes had built a disc golf course on the side of a hill that, if you play it, you're a bit of a mountain goat. And all of them are on terrain like that because you're playing in quite a small area. It's not like a golf course, which is, a couple of hectares. You're talking at something that's maybe 2,000 square meters, because they're all crossing each other. Because there's only one set of guys or maybe two set of guys playing at one time. So it's a small, it's fairly small. But it is, all the ones we've seen, certainly the ones I've played on, they've been quite steep.
Right. Must be part of the challenge of it. Then.
This one wasn't it? It was undulating.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it was hilly as well.
Yeah, it was hilly as well.
Now then, talking about that, and then now we'll go the other way. We've done modern activities, modern sports. Let's go back a little bit to a bit more tradition and say good evening to our guest who appeared on the screen down there in the bottom left, Mark, who is how can I say an ambassador for the game of Malia, which again I knew nothing about, never knew existed, and until I went over there a few months back and saw how the tournament worked, and kind of got to like it. I like the atmosphere, like the way it's played and what it's about. To me, it's quite a simple game, but steeped in history and tradition. Is it not, Mark? So for those who didn't see the program last time, that maybe just give them the basic sketch of what Malia is all about.
Yeah, good evening, guys. So just sort of take it back a little bit. The village that I live in, our sport club have a Malia tournament each year, and last year I just really enjoyed it, and like you, Galvo, sort of fell in love with the game. And after that, I've now played, I think, in probably a dozen tournaments at different either Malia competitions or festas and that sort of thing. And I think because I really enjoy it, then I'm sort of trying to spread that word a little bit and, get other people sort of involved. And obviously specifically the non-Portuguese people, in order to get them to, join if there's a Malia competition going on, to participate and just get involved with it. But for those that don't know, Malia is it's a traditional game, Portuguese game, played typically over a almost sort of a shale, rough terrain. The pitch is typically between 12 meters and 15 meters. You have a pin at each end, a wooden pin at each end that the aim is to throw your disc, which is normally around about 600-700 grams, and about 10 to 12 centimeters in diameter, to throw your discs and actually hit the pin down. You play in pairs, one person at one end, one person at the other end, and you play against an alternative pair. And it is, you're quite right, Garbo. It is a very simple game, but there is quite a lot of technique to it. And each individual almost sort of has their own way of sort of throwing the Malia. Some throw it high and hope to literally land on top of the pin almost. Others sort of tend to skim it. And some people never hit the pin. Other people, they seem to hit it 3, 4, 5 times in a row. And that, those guys are clearly been playing for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, all their life, really. So there is a little bit of experience definitely counts. And then scoring wise, different clubs score in different ways. But the way that our sport club works, you get 6 points if you actually hit the pin, and then you get 3 points if your Malia is actually closest to the pin. So essentially, if you hit the pin twice with both of them and you're closest, you score 15 points, and the team that wins is the first one to get 30 points, and you play over 3 legs, so it's the first to win 2 legs.
Now, I know, talking to a lot of my friends here around, they've got quite excited about this because you're coming down to our neck of the woods on Saturday, which is something I've been trying to get, sort of formed up and done for a while, because I do believe that there is room for expansion in this. And I know it's a traditional old Portuguese game, and other places, other countries, they play it, but by a different name. So hopefully the gentleman on the screen with me tonight will be present at Amigos for the festival and the food and the games and the beer, obviously. But we'll learn, as I did from your man there, Mark, about a real traditional Portuguese game, and I think it could be quite addictive, as you found out yourself, Mark. And I think it's worth developing, and people should come and try it, because you can literally play it anywhere. It's not like disc golf. You don't need 2,000 square meters of land or whatever. You just find yourself a patch of land, which I think is a wonderful thing. And it obviously goes with beer or wine and, a good night out sort of thing. So I'm quite happy to promote that. And obviously in this venue, I'm hoping that people will have a look at it, think, yes, I like this. I like this very much. And
see, it sounds a bit like horseshoes, Garbo, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with, but along the same lines.
Big in America, very big in America. The horseshoe throwing thing.
Actually, what's even more popular in America now is a game called cornhole. I know it sounds bizarre, but there's a lot of the same aspects, and as far as what Mark's talking about, there's actually 2 wooden, I don't know how I would characterize them.
Platforms.
There's two, okay, we'll call it platforms. Thank you. There's 2 wooden platforms that are on either end. You're playing generally with teams of 2 and 2, so one teammate on one side, one on the other, and you have a series of bean bags right? That you're looking to toss into a hole that's in this platform it's, I don't know how many feet, somewhere around 20 feet, 24 feet away from where
Oh,
you're throwing.
that sounds
So-
awful to me. It brings back memories of my childhood, because
Okay.
like when you used to you used to get like a teacher that used to was into sport and all that, so you got plenty of football and ball games. I can always remember going to the year afterwards, and there was this old lady teacher that basically insisted on playing everything with beanbags. Yeah, and you can't kick a beanbag, can you?
You can't head a beanbag.
You can't head a beanbag into. Oh no, it's not.
No,
It's just.
Yeah.
So, Eric, with the beanbags, please. I think I like the sound of the horseshoes and the malia, because it sounds a bit harder.
It sounds a bit
more sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cornhole is a great game with an unfortunate name.
Yeah. but yet it's another game that has a professional league. Okay, there's a lot of money involved in this. It's on television.
Yeah.
I was actually on a flight one time from, I think I was coming from the UK into Lisbon, and there was a whole bunch of professional cornhole players that were on the flight. And
This is what fascinates me, the cornhole player, right?
Falling around.
Most of them are probably younger than 30.
Yeah, because in football you get Ronaldo, right? Yeah. Is there a specific guy that's suited to Malia, in terms of physicality?
Let's ask your expert.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yes.
Yeah. Mark,
what's the ultimate Malia player look like?
Basically, man, I'm looking for somebody that's short and bald and can play a sport.
Yeah, I think Malia is actually a real community sport, and so it was Auerfester this weekend just gone, and they had Malia tournament, and I think the youngest person was playing was probably 16 years old. The oldest was probably 76 years old.
Yeah,
sort of everything in between.
Could I take the 76-year-old? No joke.
Well, yeah. I think again the thing is it's about just sort of getting involved, and as I said, sort of we actually play typically over a 12-meter course, but you can shorten that, to make it a little bit easier, sort of it's actually very much a male-dominated game. However, at our recent tournament, we had 2 women playing, which was again obviously sort of great. And one of our biggest
women actually. What do they think about Malia women? Is it a tough one for them to join in with?
So I was unable to actually watch the tournament or participate, but the one lady, let's just say that she was pretty damn good, and she was a match for any of the players really. I think they came 4th in the whole tournament, so 4th out of about 26 teams.
Wow.
But one of our other one of the other sport clubs that actually organise 3 or 4 tournaments a year, they actually have a separate tournament for women, and they have typically about 8 teams, so 16 women that are playing on that particular one. And I think the other thing is what I've found out is that Malia is very it's played an awful lot up in and around Porto and the north of Portugal. And in actual fact, from what I understand, quite a lot of the suppliers of the equipment are Porto sort of based. So I think there's a regional concentration there, but also
there's a lot of equipment suppliers involved here. I didn't realise it ran that deep.
So I don't know whether there's a lot, but there are certainly, the ones, if you're trying to actually sort of buy a set, typically the ones that come up are Porto based. And again, like lots of things in Portugal, they typically don't have websites and that. So again, you're trying to sort of hunt through. There are probably more dotted around the country, but the ones that appear to be slightly more prominent do tend to be, appear to be sort of Porto based. The other one that in Porto Alegre, which is a little bit south of Castelo Branco, they actually have a proper league of Malia, where they're pretty much playing every couple of weeks, and they have a full league of, I think it's about 40 partners. The challenge with that is, for me, it's very much recreational, and I play with different partners pretty much every single game, which again, for me, that's really helpful and good. Whereas in the league, you pick one partner and you play with them every single, every single game. So
now you see, here's a comment that gladdens my heart. I really, really feel good about this. A friend and I are trying to get a Malia team organised for Masters Dalla Maria. We have a venue, or potentially do, but we can't find the discs. They all seem to be different, made by local craftsmen. So I think you kind of answered that question. There are places in Porto.
But again, sort of, I've conversed with Ty directly as well. It is difficult to sort of find, because I don't believe there's really sort of any standard for the Malia. So, as I said, the ones we use, they're 110 millimeters by 7 millimeters, and they weigh 600 grams. I was playing with some the other day that actually had a hole in the middle, but they were thicker. Again, still weighing 600 grams. I've played with heavier ones, and slightly lighter, but it's because it's a traditional game, and every village ultimately the throwing a disc at a pin from one end to the other is the same, but how they actually play it, that's how it differences. And I think I've got a tournament in 2 weeks' time, and they play with a much smaller disc, and they actually play on proper tarmac. They literally just play on a road. I'm sure that the council love them, because after they've been playing, you have to, they have to come out and resurface the actual road. But equally, I've also played on grass, and that brings a completely different, game, because you literally Malia don't bounce on grass, whereas you can actually get them to slide on, on tarmac. They probably slide more than what you actually want them to.
So it's a bit like tennis, really, when on different surfaces, isn't it? On grass court or clay court, or it's going to behave, which kind of adds a nice little eccentricity to it, doesn't it? Really, because you could have a mixed sort of competition on different surfaces, which would be really interesting, because you don't want total domination all the time, do you? So maybe different surface. I like that. I like that idea.
What happened to your one-on boxing? Huh? That you were trying to, you remember you're trying to start a one-arm boxing league?
Yeah. I've got this crazy idea that we should have a one-arm boxing competition with competitors in it. So, and that would be interesting to see how that pans out. Do you defend, or you?
Does anybody want to volunteer for that? Eric?
Eric's gone.
Eric's gone.
I don't know. It's a one-arm boxing match. He was off.
So I think Michael might be a good one, because he's got the reach for that.
Yeah.
Look, and the finger as well. Yeah. And what he's going to do with that finger, I don't know.
Is the Malia the pin, the game, or the disc?
So the Malia is the game and also the disc. If you translate, if you go to any of the translation apps and so forth, Malia actually typically it translates to knitting, and you think, well, why is that? And the actual direct translation is actually mesh. So it is it's what they class as a mesh disc. And again, I think historically it used to be more of a almost a mesh style disc that you used to sort of throw. And that's where sort of the mesh knitting translation, I think, actually sort of comes from. So
it's this thing that looks like half a flying saucer.
Well, if you just bear with me 30 seconds, I'll get one.
All right.
Bear with me.
While you do that, right? I read something, a bit of history on it, and it was generally a poor person's game, for the peasants to play. That's where it originated, and it tended to lose favour because it was associated with being a bit poor. So when you played Malia, that sometimes because it was a poor man's game, people didn't want to be seen playing it and being associated with it. So it kind of lost a bit of favour. That's what I read in kind of the history of it. But now it seems to be making a bit of a resurgence. So that's only be a good thing, really. So that's what I'm thinking. So let's have a look at this Malia. Shall I go full screen on this? Just
Yeah, go full screen, bro.
bear with me a second, and I will just give you a full Malia disc shot.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Look
That's
at
the
that.
Malia disc.
That's quite an offensive weapon.
It
You
is,
fire
isn't
it
it?
fairly quickly, isn't it?
Yeah. What's
You
it
could
made of?
even engrave a message on it.
I wonder if you can sharpen them.
No, down St Andrews.
Yeah.
I like your style.
Yeah. It's pretty much. I think this is literally just a steel disc. I think it's as
Disc,
simple as that.
yeah.
And I my guess is that literally what they do is they just have a piece of steel that's 100 millimeters in diameter, and they literally just slice them through. Yeah.
Mark, can you kind of like sand the wear the edges down to make them a bit more aerodynamic?
Well, as you play, they do typically wear, and some of the ones that you can purchase that are, how can I say it, more
Beveled?
manufactured, they already do tend to have sort of more of a beveled edge.
Right.
But when you play in a tournament, you play with the clubs that you're playing. They provide the Malia, so everybody is equal and so forth. So unlike, for example, green bowls in the UK, where you're allowed to, you play with your own bowls. Here, you don't have any choice. You play with whatever the club, So if they've got larger ones that have got a round hole in the middle, if they've got thicker ones that are slightly smaller, that's what you play with. So everybody's playing on the same, the same level playing field as it would be.
I was just thinking that I don't know if it's just me, but that kind of like it looks a bit agricultural with the sharp edge. I want to see something a bit more aerodynamic, a bit more of of this
A
century.
bit more organic looking.
Yeah, a bit more organic rather than
couldn't you cast some? I mean,
Barbara Hepworth.
you make a cast of some, that I mean, that they're made of metal, aren't they? Presumably,
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah,
So.
but as I said, I think the ones that the ones that you buy off the shelf now, then I think pretty much they are cast, and they are, you get them with, with different patterns on, the same as like petanque balls. Typically on those, you actually have 1, 2, or 3 rings, so which is each individual player's ball or petanque. So those ones. So if they're being commercially sold now, then you do typically find that they are a little bit more polished. And quite a lot of them, I think, they get supplied in a nice little bag, and they're commercially done. But if you're looking for any quantity, I don't know, we've probably got 20 sets. It's just easier to find the local metalwork guy and get him to, can you produce these for us?
Can't you just get a file and file it down yourself?
Well, you could do, but if they're your own, but the thing is, you can't, because if you're coming to play at our club, you are going to play with ours. So
you don't like filings right out.
No.
Yeah. So if you you don't want any advantage. So hence the reason why they are literally all the same when you play with them. A club you play, they're all exactly the same. So everybody is on equal, as I said, an equal pitch really.
Like a standard, I suppose.
Yeah. So it might cause a few social waves if you come
It
along
could
with
be.
a file.
Yeah, it's a bit of
Yeah,
bit of
and
knobbling
start
going on.
Yeah, start. You
See,
don't mind
some-
if I do a bit of knobbling, do you?
Well, see, some are curved with the hole in the centre.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
guess they've still got to weigh a certain amount, and as soon as you start
suppose.
filing,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
might start.
It's a bit like when
yeah.
you
So those ones,
in the old
yeah,
days.
those ones
No
tend to
more
be
about
that
that,
little
wouldn't
bit thicker.
Yeah.
So the weight will typically be the same between 600 and 800 grams, but they will be thicker because you've got the holes in the middle. So
Wow.
yeah,
I've just
1.2 kilograms. That's
wow.
for
That's
me.
a lot.
That's way too heavy. Yeah.
That's like
but-
bodybuilding stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, but again, I think
somebody did
that's
say
where
to me-
there's real sort of flexibility. So if you've got heavier ones, then you can play over a 10-meter course rather than a 12-meter or a 15-meter course. If you've got lighter ones, you can play sort of over a longer distance. So.
I suppose you could, yeah.
This is what fascinates me, right? Is there any specific training in terms of physicality that you need to do for Malia?
Well, personally, I think the guys that are quite good are probably the white guys that are stood at the bar drinking with their right hand or their throwing hand. Because they're drinking all this, and that's probably the most exercise that most people need. However, after the first couple of times of me sort of really playing, you do feel it a little bit in your shoulder.
Right.
But I honestly don't feel really. Sorry.
Any Malia sledging going on, like the Australians, at cricket and all that?
No.
There is a bit of there is atmosphere as the event goes on and the numbers start to dwindle down. Then it becomes a bit more serious.
Bit more chatty.
You might get a bit of a stare or a bit of a
Because I think I'd be quite good at this if I was allowed to do a bit of chatting and a bit of sledging.
Well, I don't think that's in the rules because that's technically putting somebody off, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A local metal worker has been making some for 3 months, ready tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. This is
I'll tell you
Portugal.
what, if he's been making some for 3 months,
He's filing them.
He's whittling them down for something quite big, isn't he? It must be like you've got a yoke or something.
So I'm interested now because Saturday, as I said, we'll be at Amigos bar restaurant, and we'll have is it just the one court you're going to set up there, or how many? Or
so I believe there's room for a couple, and again, what I might do is sort of try and do one that's slightly smaller if any sort of younger children want to do and participate. So,
and what rules are we playing? Is it the loser buys the beers? Is that the
great rule?
That is typically the way. Yeah. So so if you lose, then you're buying the beers anyway. So
it is a beer festival as well. So
yeah,
the Portuguese, doesn't it?
Yeah, for me, this weekend is very much, sort of about, just sharing and giving people the opportunity to, have a go, really. If it progresses from there, all well and good. But, it's about, just trying to do something. And indeed, obviously trying to help Isabella with, Amigos and, sort of something slightly different to the, some of the other stalls that she sort of might have. So, and I'm not charging for it in any way, shape, or form. It's literally come along, have a go, if there are 4 people that want to have a little competition, we can do that. That's not a problem. So,
sign me up.
There you go. Yep.
And
I'm sure there'll be a few.
Go on, Michael. I'm sure you'd give it a good one, man. I tell you.
Is it a backhanded flip?
You throw it however you want to throw it. Yeah. So that's typically the way that I throw it. But others, others literally throw it. Underarm sort of high and hoping that it literally lands on the pin.
A sort of Hail Mary.
It's down to personal preference. That's reality, and whatever works for you.
So, giving no kind of tactics away, what is it specifically that works for you?
So for me, I actually try to throw. I throw sort of underarm, and I try to make it hit the ground maybe 2 or 3 foot
a meter before the actual pin,
Well,
and
so you
let it
get a bit
actually
of a
sort of
skip.
Yes.
yeah, and let it actually sort of slide in. Yeah, that's the way that I play. Which quite a lot of people will just sort of try to, it's just, that sort of approach tends to be the best way. The other thing is, I always try to get closest to the pin with my first mallet, because the closest to the pin is 3 points. And if you get closest to the pin, then you almost get a free shot at the pin on the second one. So
Logical,
yeah, but again, different people play different ways. So
Well, I can imagine like with bull, right? I mean, you get like closest to the pin, but then it can get knocked out of the way.
Yes.
Yeah,
You can,
but you can't do this with the flat disc.
Well, you can now. I've seen
no, you can, yeah.
Can you?
Yeah, it does happen. It does happen. But again, it depends if you're throwing first or second. So if you're closest to the pin last shot, then you actually throw first, because there is part
Where
of
do
it
you
where
prefer to throw? What order do you like to go first to command the space?
to be honest, it doesn't really matter. If do I have a preference? My preference would probably be to throw second, because that way, if you know how close you need to get to the pin, and then, as I said, if you get closest on your first one, you've got the free hit. But if you're throwing second, then that means that you actually lost the point, the 3 points in the previous, sort of round.
So you
so
like
ultimately.
You like to see what the first guy's thrown and then adjust your tactics accordingly.
Yeah, but obviously, when you win the 3 points, then you're thrown first, which possibly gives the people. I feel so. Those that throw second.
So when you're throwing first, right? I mean, what's in your mind? Is it like I've really got to like dominate this now? I've got to put the
again, it's getting that first one, getting the mallet as close to the pin as possible.
When you play as a team of two, as you do, I can't remember. Do you both play at the same end, or do you like have one at one end?
So you're at one end, and your partner is at the opposite end. So I will then throw from my end first, and then my partner will throw back. So obviously, I throw my mallet. My competitor also then throw their mallet, and then the closest to the pin, the team member of that person then throws back.
So how do you put your opponent off?
Well, however you want to put them off.
Well, I don't know. Let's be creative here. Let's think laterally, right? I mean, I'm thinking cricket. Fast bowler. He's giving you a couple of like flyers around your teeth. You go down and pad the pitch. You have a bit of chat. You walk around, waste a bit of time.
Yeah. So again, different people. I actually try to stand as close to the pin as possible when my partner's throwing, and then I try to actually walk around when the opposition's playing.
Right. So you mean that walking around kind of disrupts their
because sort of it just makes it a little bit, but the chatter goes on, and if you want, you can walk up and kick the pitch a bit, level it out, or
eyeball
it.
them. I'm liking the sound of this. There's a lot of stuff going on. You never really appreciate.
Got to be there, man. You've got to come and try.
But again, as Garve said, sort of, I think it might have been the tournament you came to, Garve. It might have been the one after that. But they got a very, very heated conversation in the semi-final.
Really?
And they were.
What was the general flow of the heated conversation? Could you tell?
I don't know what it started with or what the problem was, but clearly
something like your grand's better than my nan. You think so?
Yeah, part of the challenge, I think, is that you have a score sheet, but you typically score between yourselves, so you don't have an independent scorer, and that is then a little bit open to error. shall we say?
Ah,
So do you think there's some creative
but
mathematics going on in this?
yeah, but what I actually do is I tend to, if I'm at a Tamalia, if there are people that I'm watching or that I've gone with, or are from my club Subarera, then I will tend to actually go and score. So because the other thing then is that we're not, they're not having to worry about scoring as well as sort of throwing the Malia. They can. They can literally just get out and worry about the game rather than worry about the scoring. So, of course, it helps me with my Portuguese numbers as well. So,
no, I'm really encouraged now because there's a whole new dimension to the game, the kind of mental sort of psychological approach, which I never really, kind of grasped that was there. The kind of like the sledging, the kind of mental domination of the whole thing. It must be
psychological.
Must
go on.
It must go on, mustn't it?
But I noticed.
I mean, if you get a group of people, they're always going to compete, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Michael.
Yeah, he's gagging for it, isn't he? He needs to get there.
That's a bit strong.
He needs to get there and compete, straining at the leash. But I noticed on that event that I came to that for the first few rounds, that everything was, how can I say, slightly tense, a little bit, sort of, and then people had a few drinks.
Well, you mean people like sussing people out?
No, I don't. It's hard to say. I don't know whether they just hadn't gone into the swing of things, but they had a few beers and stuff, and suddenly they started playing better. So I reckon you can have a few beers just to get loosened up.
That's logical.
Yeah,
in this game.
What's that?
Sorry, Michael.
There's alcohol involved in this game?
Oh, yes.
Hopefully.
Alcohol, food,
yeah.
Psychological warfare by the sound of it as well.
Yes,
I'm a teetotal.
Marriage.
Yeah, what's probably gone on there as well. Probably a few extra marital relationships have.
No.
But it's a fun game, and I think
it is.
Eric's back again. I don't know where he's been.
I think the thing that fascinates me is if you don't like somebody in the crowd, you can do a duff throw and aim at them, can't you?
Take them out.
Take their front teeth out.
I suppose you could. Yeah.
Sorry, Jeff, I had to take a call that I had to take, so my
Oh,
apologies.
sorry.
Fair enough.
I thought you'd gone to watch the football.
Who, Manchester United? Oh, it's 2-2.
No,
It's a 2-2.
The way the stocks and shares go up and down, I mean, this man, he's got his finger on the pulse and he needs to take action when he needs to take action. Okay, because millions could be wiped off the stock market at a stroke.
Yeah, but it'll always come back again, won't it? That's the stock market for you. It'll come back in sooner or later.
There is that.
Yeah, but some of
The just on a slightly other thing. The other traditional game that they play a lot around my area is Sueca, the card game.
Oh, no.
Now I've got no idea of the rules and so forth, but in one of my local cafe bars, every single afternoon there are a minimum of 8 people, in there playing Sueca, and again it gets really quite heated and so forth. But a lot of the festas around, we had a Sueca tournament, and there must have been probably 30, 35 teams playing in that. So I really can't tell you anything about the game other than, when I watch it, it really gets quite tense. But it's clearly it's definitely a big game around here. And in not this weekend, the weekend after, one of the festas is their Sueca competition. The first prize are 2 watches that are worth over €1,000 each.
Wow.
So it's quite serious. I would say Sueca is perhaps a little bit more serious than Malia.
So you say older people play the card game, or younger people?
No, so again, I think it's a real sort of mix. Again, from I'm guessing 16, 18, right the way through to probably well into their 80s. Because it's not physical. It's very much using the brain, and talking about sledging and so forth. you know, oh boy, there's you actually play opposite your partner in Sweka, and you can see that they're having, you know, signals, and they're, you know, oh, I've just knocked my glass over and so forth. So all of a sudden they have to sort of, you know, get a cloth to mop it up. So there's definitely a lot more in that.
Very tactical then.
And yeah, but as I said, I've never played it, and it's not for me, you know. But it is a very big traditional game, certainly in this neck of the woods. So
my problem is I'm knocking beer over all the time.
No, you're knocking it down. About knocking it down.
Knocking
That's
beer
the
over
problem.
all the time, you know, and I might be sending out the wrong signals.
Well, it could be. Are there any more games in Portugal we don't know about that they play? Because I tend to see, like when I was in Spain, that they played a lot of dominoes for one thing.
It's called diving in the box. They play that game, all right.
Yeah, try and get a penalty.
Yeah.
I haven't seen dominoes here.
No, I haven't seen dominoes.
No, I haven't seen dominoes. The other thing that a lot of the younger people play is table football, and again, that can get really sort of quite competitive. And you know, there are table football leagues around. Our sport club, they've got a table football. In addition to that, they've also got a pool table. So you know, pool isn't that popular, but I think those people that do play it, you know, play it quite seriously. And one of my friends used to live in Portugal, and he was actually Portugal number one for playing pool, which may be part of the reason why we've got a pool table in our sport club. And I actually enjoy a good game of darts, because again, darts goes with beer, and I'm hoping that we might be able to get a dartboard set up in our sport club as well. So.
Well, the amazing thing that I found was the American 8-ball. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Eric was the tutor of American 8-ball.
We were playing 9-ball.
9-ball. Sorry, I'm really crap at counting.
That's the one with the funny shape.
The funny.
I can't call it.
Like a diamond.
I don't know.
A diamond. Yeah.
It's like a diamond.
Yeah, and it like kind of threw us a lot because it was like witchcraft really to play.
Yeah,
didn't understand it.
And Eric was very good at it.
Well, he was really.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
that's a misspent that Eric's had. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah, misspent whatever. And an 8-ball. What I can't understand about 8-ball is that it's like you have to take it sequentially in numeric order.
Really?
I think so. Am I got that right, Eric?
9-ball.
9-ball. Sorry, 9-ball. So I got that wrong for a start.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, this table behind
the brain
us here,
fog's really kicking in, isn't it?
It's anybody's guess where this is going to go. It's such a bad table. It's veers off.
Snooker, and he has trouble with the amount of balls.
See, one thing I don't get about like you guys in the UK is snooker. I don't get that game.
It's a gentleman's game.
Snooker is a very, very, very difficult game to play.
Yeah, honestly, on account of the table, is about 4 times 5.
It's like
6 times bigger than the pool table.
Several double beds.
Yeah, it's like, and you hit the ball, and like it keeps going and going and going and going. You're just waiting. You know, with a pool table, you can hit the ball and you can start walking around to take your next shot. With a snooker table, you haven't even got lunch. You can have lunch.
Come back
and wait for the time the ball dropped into the pocket. But it was developed in India, I think.
Was it really?
Yeah, that's the history. Developed in India, as most fine things were.
We have got some snooker balls there for this table.
Yeah, but it's on a slope.
Yeah, you learn actually if you tilt a bit and play, it's not so bad.
Yeah. It's a calculation.
And darts, I have seen a couple of places with darts.
Yeah,
around.
That's quite popular. I've seen that in San Martino. The dartboard's always well crowded.
Yeah, but that's probably a Brit influence, isn't it?
No, really. I've seen a lot of Portuguese people, young Portuguese people playing darts, but they play with those safety darts.
Oh,
you know,
it's a bit naff,
it is a bit naff. Yeah, honestly, it's like kids' darts. Isn't it? Those with the plastic tip and all that.
Where's the risk when it bounces out the dartboard and flings towards somebody?
Or when you're a kid and you used to throw it at each other.
Don't talk about that. I mean, really, I mean, in Lisbon, do you see anything else sort of being played? In a sort of
Actually, you were speaking about billiards just a little while ago, and actually up where Lee lives, some of you guys know Lee, some don't, but up near where he lives, we went to it's a bar, cafe, whatever, and they probably have a dozen pool tables in there. And when we walked in there, tables were full, but this is a legit club because there was trophies everywhere in the club, like from probably the day that billiards was invented till today.
Like cleaning and stuff like that.
Clyke? That's Clyke.
Shut up.
But yeah, I think billiards is big in some parts of the city. And getting back to some other things, I walked through a park in Camp Dorique, which is not far from here. And the one day that we walked through there was a whole bunch of older gentlemen all playing cards, all on different tables, like in the park. And like Mark was saying, it seemed to get a little bit heated at some of the tables at times. So they may have been playing the same game that Mark was speaking of earlier. I'm not sure, but yeah. Other than that, I really haven't. There's no Malia here because everything is tarmac and cement, and so that probably doesn't.
You can play on tarmac. I never knew that. We can play on any surface by the sound of it.
Yeah, but how do you hammer the peg into the ground or whatever?
Just what stands up, I suppose.
Yeah, it just stands up. Yeah.
It's just a big skittle.
Yeah.
You know,
it's good enough.
And somebody I can't remember who it was asking me about a game they saw in Britain. We have it's a similar sort of thing. You have a post, and then you have a nut post in your hand, and you got to try and knock the post over. And I thought, this sounds what we used to call.
I've seen that.
It's called Aunt Sally, and that was the local name, but it was called something else. But it's an ancient game from many hundreds of years ago. But basically, it's a similar sort of principle, really. It's just a different thing you're throwing at it. So, obviously, these in different regions. Sorry, Michael, you were going to say something?
Less space.
Yes. And of course, in Britain and other parts, we used the bowling club. You know, the not bowling, but green bowling,
lawn bowling. Yeah,
lawn bowling. I mean, that is skillful. That is a skillful sport. And it's a shame, really, we don't have that.
It's gorgeous, though, isn't it?
It is.
All the whites and then the green of the turf.
All that sort of, skill and this, that, and the other. Shame we can't really have something like that in Portugal, but then there's not much grass, really. Is there?
No, it's
not of that sort of quality.
And you also, the grass is a different type of grass here. It's a very coarse grass. We have a much finer sort of finish to the grass. And I think that's something to do with the heat and So that probably wouldn't. What about hunting wild boar?
It's a bit of a jump from bowls.
I know, but thinking about it, there's a lot of wild boar here. There really is a lot of wild boar.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we've connected with our sport club. They actually have a wild boar group. Let's call it a group, and it covers a larger area than just our sport club. But they actually regularly, some of them are actually properly licensed to actually go out and shoot in order to then legally be able to sell the meat. So we're very, very fortunate here that we have wild boar javelin burgers. And you know what? They are some of the best burgers you can get.
Tell me about the taste of those.
I think I need to come over and see you again very soon.
They, for me, they're so much more flavorless. They're a little bit more fatty, but it's natural fat. Because they've eaten naturally, they've not been force fed, they've grown at the speed that they naturally will grow at, and therefore it is superb. And of course they then not at this festival. We've actually got a food festival in the next month, and they typically sort of do the javelli burgers, and they also do javelli racks, rib racks as well. It's all good stuff. Yeah, and we've also got a shooting range, clay pigeon shooting range not far from us, which is actually where they do the training in order for you to get your gun license, which I believe that it only costs you €30 to get a gun license here in Portugal. Really? And I believe that once you've done the training, then basically it's training for life. And as long as you continue to renew your license, then you don't have to do the training again. If you let it skip, then you have to go back and do it. But
all the gubbins again.
What about
is that strictly for rifles? Like
shotguns? Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a rifle here. No, I've seen people with shotguns. I mean, there's a lot of hunting around here. You can hear it like certain times of the weekend. It's like an anti-aircraft battery.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like
it's like the 4th of July.
It is. They'll shoot anything that moves.
So. Sundays and I think Thursdays.
Thursdays possibly.
I don't know. You'd have to correct me on this one, Mark. But I think they have certain days where you can hunt.
Yeah.
And I know Sundays is a day, and I think Thursday might be. I may be wrong. But I mean, it's Beirut, isn't it?
It is.
Really,
it is. Literally anything from the tiniest little sparrow to
anything,
grubs, insects, worms. If it moves, it's game.
Now you see, what I quite like is the idea of bow hunting. I'm sorry to raise this again, but it's a bit quieter, isn't it? It's a bit more stealthy, and you really got to get close to the old. Something ancient. I
can see me getting you from the hospital after you've been gored by a wild boar because you missed.
I doubt it.
Our home is we've got a home in Northeast Washington, and the bow hunters get nearly a month ahead of the gun hunting season. Because they're out there, they're quiet, you never hear them, and it's hard work. I mean, it's not like you can take a shot from 100 yards away. You've got to eyeball to eyeball almost.
Exactly. It seems a lot more craft in that than 300 meters away and taking a telescopic shot. With a bow, you've got to get closer, or you've got to have a hide or something that you attract them, to the killing zone.
Yeah.
Not that I've thought a great deal about this. Okay.
No, but it really is hunting. I mean, it's great. It's the same with the next group. It's strangely enough, it's not strange, but the next group after the bow hunters is black powder hunters. You know what that is?
That work then? Is that like powder? Musket?
Yeah.
Is that like Davy Crockett?
It's along the same lines as that. Yeah.
Kentucky long rifles and all that.
Long barrels.
Wow, that's just amazing.
You've ignited him.
I'm ignited now. I'm flying.
Don't ignite his black powder, whatever you do. I mean, with hunting, if you go hunting, to not just to kill stuff, but to eat it, that to me is okay.
Yeah.
That is good. You can do that, but just to go and shoot something,
that's not on.
It's just a waste.
Unless you give the food to somebody else.
Yeah, but I mean, it's here. They'll just take a sparrow out to something.
But you think about a wild boar. That's gonna feed you for the whole winter, isn't it?
Well, if you don't have much money, there's a lot of meat there, really. If you think about it.
And there's always cats and that type of thing to make the bag up.
I'll get out. We're gonna have complaints now. We're gonna get complaints. You're awful. You're awful. So, gentlemen. In conclusion, I hope to see you all at the weekend.
Yeah.
And maybe share a game and a few beers.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it myself.
And it definitely sounds like beer will enable me to play better. So
very probably, yes, because you start off feeling a bit tight and a bit sort of, but then that's the way it goes. And of course, Lee will be with us, so that will make things very interesting, won't it? So,
That's true.
Right, just a couple of comments. Where are we? What's that there?
Make catching the postman easier with a
I think
throw
that was
like
a Marley
that.
one, which when you throw
Yeah.
it, and rifle and pistols are different. Well, I hope they are. I hope they
30 paces.
are. 30 paces, yeah.
I think he was referring to my question about what you were able to shoot once you had your license.
Right.
Right, okay.
Okay. Because we're going back in time now, aren't we? So
Well, it's me. I've not kept up with the comments.
Well,
I?
no,
It's
no,
my fault.
there's quite a few there.
But in fact, I'm going back to our friend Matty, who was having a bit of trouble with the fires, who was safe and sound.
Hey.
Thankfully, nothing got damaged. I'm very happy to
That's
hear
good.
that. But he's had another incident. Wait for it.
Paranoid. Finally got my girls back. Had forgotten to close a gate, and they used the opportunity to wander around the neighbourhood.
His girls are dogs, by the way.
Are they? Wow. I thought he'd run a bit of a farm, you know.
What sort of farm we're talking about?
Have you seen my stable?
So yes,
Matty.
Matty, I mean, he's got these enormous dogs, and they're huge now. But they're only a few weeks old, so they're going to get much bigger.
What about those dogs that we did on the old the frisbee course, the golf course?
Holy schmoly, that makes
they were huge. They're Portuguese. They are actually a Portuguese breed.
They
aren't
were
they?
like, how can I say?
They were like
a
sheep
bear.
dogs. They were sheepdogs on acid, weren't they?
Yeah, I think
huge
so.
but really friendly.
Yes, thankfully, could have ended very, very messily.
Now there is a breed of dog, and I can't remember what it's called, but
It's not. They're not Australians. They're even bigger than an Australian.
Yeah, bigger than an Estrella.
You're talking probably Newfoundland-sized dogs. Here.
Yeah. But a bit more, less blubbery, a bit
Less
more
blubbery,
muscular.
Yeah, a bit more muscular,
and
more sleek.
Shorter hair,
Yeah.
in a kind of piebald sort of horse type configuration.
You really were taken with them, weren't you?
I was.
Okay.
I felt I connected with the Portuguese dogs
And the donkey.
and the donkey.
Yeah.
And the goats not so much.
Goats are a
But
bit smelly, aren't they?
They are a bit, and a bit sort of, they're always going to give you a bit of a charge.
They are. You never. Have you ever been butted by a goat? I have.
No, I haven't.
Don't half hurt.
Really?
Little buggers, I tell you.
You know what surprised me about donkeys is actually when you get up to them, they really are quite big. The one that I put my arm around, and you remember you're patting them and all that dust came off.
Was this before the kiss and the cuddle, or
probably just before?
Okay.
Yeah, but they're quite.
They are quite
still quite big. I mean, if they decide to give you a kick, they give you
I mean,
decent
it's
kick.
still a powerful beast, isn't it? Which
But they're so nice. They're so
I
loving
don't know.
and beautiful.
There's probably some nasty donkeys out there as well. I didn't know they lived so long.
How long do they live?
I once went to a farm and they got a donkey that was 47 years old.
No, get out.
No, it was 47.
Actually, seriously, I think having a donkey, right, is
Good money, value for money.
Good value for money. And I tell you what, bloody nice characters.
It's like when somebody buys a parrot, they don't realise how long they live
How
for.
long they're going to have that parrot shouting on their shoulder.
And definitely don't buy a tortoise because it's going to outlive you, isn't it, really?
Now, a funny thing about, I was driving not so long ago by Nazaré, and I saw this thing crossing the road, and I thought, what's that? I thought, is it like a turtle? I thought.
You do have turtles here.
And then I drove past it, right, and I thought, no, leave it alone, John. And I looked back and I thought, that's a tortoise. And I had to go back, turn around. It was a very tight road, a bit of a country road, and drive back and get this tortoise and put it on the side of the road because it just would have got smashed to smithereens.
Well, there you go. There's your great deed for the day. Great deed for the day.
Tortoise and not a turtle.
It was a tortoise, honestly. I've had enough tortoises to know the difference.
Well, they do
This
have
was a
turtles
tortoise.
here because I've seen them in the river.
That's why I thought it was a turtle, at a distance. But when I picked it up, right, when I put it on the side, I gave it a bit of
love,
vegetation,
psychological
counselling, and a life raft. It was a tortoise.
No, see, our man Lee said, I love when people talk hunting with no idea.
There you go.
There's a bit of a put down, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's a bit nasty, isn't it?
That's a bit nasty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Just because we're not hunters and we're imagining.
What's this? Daisy Power Line 880 worth a look at.
What does that mean?
Does anybody know what that is?
No idea.
Is that some form of rifle or a bow, or is it
Bow and arrow.
bow and arrow, or is it maybe
It's a crossbow. It could be a crossbow.
Could be a crossbow.
Yeah.
Could be a crossbow.
Or it could be a
See,
rocket.
but I do know that donkeys live a long time, because back in the day, I had a friend who came from Northern Ireland, and occasionally he would say, I haven't seen one of those in a donkey's lifetime, or I haven't, you know what I mean? So now I get.
This
Now I
guy,
get it.
your friend, he wasn't called Delaney, was he?
No.
There was a song, Delaney had a donkey.
It's a great song. Delaney's donkey.
Hang on, Michael.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this Daisy Power 880. Daisy makes pellet guns in the US.
Of course. Yes.
Air guns.
Yes.
Do you remember that one you did with a double spring?
Oh, yes, customized one.
And it shot the way
It went
through
straight.
the toilet door.
Went through my bedroom door, straight through the toilet wall.
Yeah, the neat thing about the pellet guns, you don't need a license for them, and that's a lot of people use them for squirrels and stuff like that in the US.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing the vermin that you
Squirrels
get.
with pellet guns. That's a bit dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah.
They could attack at any minute.
Yeah.
But no, Michael, there's a lot of vermin here, right? I mean, rats and all that. And the air rifle is a good instrument to counter them. I mean, we get a fair amount.
Even better, my cat just totals any
Cats
rat.
are really very, very.
He'll come in with half the rat in his mouth. The first bit is eaten. He's just saving a bit for later.
Yeah.
He's extraordinarily good hunter. But yeah, I mean, we could go on talking about hunting forever, I suppose. But we kind of come off topic. And again, see, we've
It's a sport, though.
It is a sport. Look at this.
Yeah, just one final thing. I need to pop off in a minute anyway. So I know you're going to close, but Eric, I'm really sorry. After 13 penalties each, Man United have lost.
Grimsby is rushing the field right now, so
13.
all that.
13 penalties. Who are they playing?
13 penalties. Grimsby.
Stanley.
Who?
Grimsby, which is nearly as bad as Accrington and Stanley.
Oh my God.
Yes, they're rushing the field right now.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys,
Where's Frank? Where's Frank when you want him?
Yeah.
All right.
And on that note, I'm done.
I'll see you Saturday.
Yeah, we'll do.
Take
care.
Gentlemen, I'm going to bid you all good night. Thank you for joining me. And yes, I'll see you all Saturday. Take care, everybody.
cheers. Thanks.
Ciao.
Take care, Michael. Be well.